Hey there, it's Hunted from the Platinum Pursuit, and today we have a fun and very unique little title known as the Plucky Squire. This guide is meant to take you all the way from 0 to the Platinum in as little amount of time as possible, while avoiding spoiling gameplay as much as we can. Before we dive in, if you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and sharing this video with your Plat hunting friends. As you load up the game for the first time, here are a few things to remember. As of the recording of this video, the game currently suffers a glitch in which the merchant character Martina does not spawn anytime you load a previous chapter from the menu. This, unfortunately, means that you cannot purchase any abilities or scrolls that you missed during your first playthrough. Couple this with the fact that the currency that you use, bulbs, is rather limited throughout the game, so if you're not careful or just unaware, you'll likely not have enough come the final chapters. I've made a note of a few spots where you can easily grind to get the extra bulbs, so it shouldn't be a problem if you follow the guide. There are 50 art scrolls, 10 glitchbirds, and 8 missable trophies to collect throughout the playthrough. These are the primary focus for this guide, and are all individually highlighted and time-stamped for your convenience. Finally, make sure that you play on adventure mode as it's required for one of the trophies. You should be able to play along with this guide and easily end with a platinum for your trouble. Now, with all of that said, let's jump right into Chapter 1. Welcome to the Plucky Squire. Just wanted to real quick make mention, as I noted in the intro, you have to collect a ton of these bulbs, and with the game being in the current state that it's in, you're definitely going to want to farm them. There is an early spot you can farm right here, right at the beginning of Chapter 1. So the way that the game works is that it will not take away your bulbs when you die, but all of the things will respawn. So I broke all those bushes up there. They gave me a good number of...
Jock dusted himself off and arose to fight once more.
They gave me a good number of bulbs, and you see they just respawned, so I should have 19 still, and there you go. So you can farm up a good, I mean, you can farm however many you want. I would say, just to be on the safe side, and so you're not really pushing yourself to the limit, farm up, you know, a couple hundred here at the start. There is another one at Chapter 6 that I will show you. So you can grab those if you need extra, but
dusted himself
if this is patched
once more,
you know, whenever you're watching this video, that when the merchants actually work, then you can skip this section. But other than that, yeah, just farm these up and you should be good to go. All right, after you farm to your heart's content, it's time for the first trophy of the run, and we get to fight the honey badger.
Honey Badger seemed rather annoyed. Jot prepared for a dust-up.
So this fight's pretty simple, honestly. You can dodge, but I found you really don't even need to dodge. You can just overwhelm him with punches. Just mix it up a little bit. If he blocks you, yeah, sort of, you know. You're really not at risk of failing this. Oh, that's a nice little combo. I don't think I've seen him do that one before. But yeah, just mix it up and he'll go down pretty simply. Pretty easy. So, we just got Violet the Witch, and now we are on our way to the tower. But first things first, we are going to get our first collectible of the game. It is going to be our first art piece. And I'll show you the art menu so you get an idea of what you're looking at. We'll just go ahead and take care of the enemies real fast. Again, remembering to grab as many light bulbs as we can. So up here to the top, right to the left of the pond, is your first art scroll. And let's go ahead, and we do get a trophy for that as well, obviously. Now, if you take a look at the gallery, there are 50 total scrolls, and they're all going to be in order. So if for whatever reason you miss one, or something of that nature, you're not going to miss one if you follow the guide, but if you do miss one, it will show a gap here. Now, you want to be extra careful and make sure you buy, again, all of the art scrolls. Yeah, let's go on to the next one. I'll explain more about the art scrolls when we get there. Okay, so we are beyond the gate now, and we are coming up to our second art scroll. This is the important part. This merchant, as of the time of recording, is bugged. and will not spawn in anytime you select a checkpoint later on. So you want to make sure buy every single art scroll and you buy every single power-up you can before the end of the game. There are 10 chapters, and you need, I think I said, what, 1,400 light bulbs total. So make sure that you're farming light bulbs, you're collecting as many as possible. And again, you can see them in the gallery. If you missed one, then you know to go back. But that is the second art piece. We'll move on to the first Glitchbird. All right, time for the first Glitchbird's in quite an obvious spot, but I do want to just make mention, if you go too far to the right, you will trigger a cutscene and you will miss your opportunity. So do not go beyond this sign. Just break the bushes, grab him, get the trophy, and get your first lost Glitchbird, and that will do it for Chapter 1. Okay, now here we are in Chapter 2. Let's get the third scroll of the game, the first one of the chapter. We've just made our way down the mountain, and this is the first bull we've come across. So as soon as you find yourself here, work your way up to the trees, and you can see the art through here. You can just slash at it, and there you go, scroll number 3. And now that we've made it past the cat, we say goodbye to Topsy, and we'll come over here to the merchant of the chapter and go ahead and buy the scroll and whatever else you can afford here. Now the very next screen from the merchant, you're on this dark one with the beetle crawling across, pretty creepy. But we have another scroll down here. Smack this tree. And there's scroll number 5. On the very next screen here, we are going to get the Glitchbird number 2. This is the first screen where we fight these green monsters. There's a bunch spawning in right now. Dispatch them real quick. Big boy takes a lot of hits, but eventually we'll get him down. And then back behind this wall on this side, you can come right around, and there is your second Glitchbird. Right, now we've emerged from the cave, and we can head over to this merchant to buy our next scroll, scroll number 6 on the run. Let's go ahead and do that. I don't think I have enough. Yeah, I definitely don't have enough for all of the upgrades, but that's okay. They come at you pretty quickly. We'll buy them as they come up. And now for the final scroll of the chapter. We're here in this large book area. We'll immediately turn to the left, and there is a small little crevice back in here that you can grab this final scroll. Make sure you have all 7 before you leave Chapter 2, and of course, that second Glitchbird as well. Alright, one final thing to note here in Chapter 2 before we move on. This is the first time we're actually outside of the book, but it's also the first opportunity to get a trophy here. All you have to do is walk over to this ledge and jump off. You can do this anytime, really. You're going to be outside of the book quite a lot in the game, so if you don't do it now, you can do it later, but might as well do it now while we're here. That's it for Chapter 2. See you in the next one. All right, here we are in Chapter 3. It's actually quite a short one, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole thing here with you. We just got out of the book, and we're learning how to use it from the wizard. We're going to flip back 2 pages. He tells us essentially that the edges are glowing, which means there's something in there. And the first things first, we're going to grab the first scroll of the chapter right up here in the top right. We still don't have our sword, so you can't whack any trees, unfortunately. We'll grab that scroll. That will be the next one of these. Now, you can actually come down into the wizard's house and grab his soda. It's not going to kick you out of the book or anything, so we'll grab that before we do anything else. And now we want to run all the way back to our house to grab the next Glitchbird. That's Glitchbird number 3 there. So we have one final scroll. We need to grab scroll number 9. We're going to go ahead and jump out of the book straight into 3D. And we're actually going to run along the top. Now you want to make sure you do this before you return to your friends, to Violet and to, what is his name? Oh my goodness, Thrash. Violet and Thrash. They're going to be waiting for you at the top of the tower. Make sure you do this part before you return to them. You will not be able to get back out of the book, and you will miss this if you do that. But here it is. You just go up north, follow along the path there, and this is scroll number 9. That's it for chapter 3, and I'll see you in chapter 4. Okay, welcome to chapter 4. We are going to get a unique trophy real quick. Once you have this gate open, we are going to run back to the frog. We're going to grab Huge. We're going to run this all the way back around to our cute little frog up here. We're going to replace Tiny. Oops. Replace Tiny with Huge. And it should pop you a trophy. Remember that Huge is here. We're going to need it again very, very soon. But that is it for this one. All right, on to the next screen now. And we'll go ahead and purchase a scroll from Martina. As well as any other upgrades. I can't afford the jump attack badge yet, but that's all right. All right, now we have another trophy. This one is a little difficult. It's a little tricky. So this fish here,
Jot cleared his mind.
Can't remember what his name is, but we need to catch him first
Now
try.
he was ready to
And
grab
this
the
is
fish.
definitely not easy. You have to time this almost perfectly. We'll see if I can do it first try here. Oh, just missed him. Okay. So we have to do this first try, which means we need to reset every single time. So since I missed it, you can go back to the main menu, reload your save, and try again. I'll probably keep trying. If I miss it this time, I'll just cut the video to me doing it successfully and grabbing the trophy. We'll see if I can get it second try. But yeah, you're just gonna have to keep
Jot
watching
cleared
this
his mind.
until you can grab it first try.
Now
Let's
he
see.
was ready to grab the fish.
You have to pretty much have it dead on. I mean, it has to be exactly in the middle of your hand here. Oh, see, that one I thought was going to happen, but no. All right. Well, couldn't get it the first couple times. I'll just go ahead and cut to me actually doing it.
Jot cleared his mind. Now he was ready to grab the fish.
Okay. There we go. It was my third try, to be fair. But yeah, so once you do that, you get the gold trophy, and we can move on.
The Plucky Squire gently released the fish into the water.
Now, after the fish, we are going to get yet another achievement. This time in this next screen here. Go ahead and take out the enemies real quick. We need to make this bridge down here huge. So if you remember, we had the huge from before, so this bridge was broken. We're going to replace this in just a minute. We need to exit the level, or rather exit the book. Go back to the lily pad. And we're going to go ahead and grab huge, and obviously you can see where we're going with this. Take this. Oops, don't. Okay. Oh, I went backwards the wrong way. All right. Now we can go back all the way to where we were. Through the portal. And once we drop this in, the bridge will become huge. And there you have it. Now, just a note, it confused me at first. The bridge is huge, but the way that this is set up is that it's not going to let you pass. You still need to get the word "it's solid" all the way over here. You get it from up in here, so you still need that to solve this puzzle. The huge is not going to work for you. So anyway, let's move on to the next part. All right, so we are in the daylight now. We are going to get scroll number 11. We need to push this block over to here, which will open up the solid door. But it additionally opens this door. And now, while you can go ahead and smash stuff up here, grab all this stuff, the scroll 11 is right here in this tree. So we knock that out. And there we go. Now, we are on the next screen here in this cave section. I'm actually coming up to the end. If you can see, if I put this button down, or put the block on the button, I can drop down and then leave the level. What we want to do, though, is to keep the button off for a moment, walk across the bridge, and inside that little crevice is the next scroll, scroll number 12. We're in the third dimension now in this chapter. We just climbed up this ramp up here. This is on the route to where you're supposed to go to get the bow. We'll go ahead and fight off these enemies. Once this is done. All right, there we have it. I don't think there's anything back here. Now, we have to pull this block. We're going to go ahead and do that. But if you look, there is something shiny. That is our next scroll. So we'll run over there and grab scroll 13. On our way up, we've come across a locked door. We fought off a bunch of enemies and snagged ourselves a key. We'll go ahead and use that. This will eventually here open up the door in the 3D world. We'll pop out and grab scroll number 14, which is just inside this room, right underneath this little, I don't know what that is. Almost looks like a wrecking ball. Go ahead and grab that, and that's scroll 14. We've gotten the bow and put it to good use. Now we are in the next town along. And first things first, what we're going to do is buy this scroll here from Martina. Grab a couple upgrades while we're here. And after that's done, we need to run to this portal and exit the book real quick, as this is one of the more tricky collectibles that we've seen so far. So we flipped 2 pages back. Now, if you run along this, there's actually a hidden teleporter, and here is another Glitchbird, Glitchbird number 4. All right, we've assisted the city folk, and now we are chasing down the bug that snatched our friends, but in your haste, don't miss this final scroll. All you got to do is hit this tree. There you go. That is the last scroll of the chapter. You should have 16. Let's double check and make sure. Hit square. Boom. There you go. We're not missing any at all. So we've got all 16. And that is it for the collectibles for chapter 4. Okay, I know that this boss doesn't give us a trophy or anything, but I figure I might as well just include it in the guide. Is the boss of chapter 4. You gotta load up and hit him with big shots, shoot these out of the sky when he sends them. Eventually he's gonna turn around here. Yep, so now, obviously we need to shoot his friends. Now if you're, whoop. I was gonna say, if you could time it well enough, you could get him when he turns around. I'll try to get an example. I think you can only hit him when you have a fully loaded shot. I don't think anything else will do damage to him. Alright, so he's going to turn around. Let's take out his friends this time. Now, if you time it perfectly, you can hit him before he throws Yeah, see, like that. You actually only got one off that time, but... So you can sort of stun lock him a little bit there. If we can't do it again. Oh, he moved on us. Oh, well. Alright, a couple more hits, and he should be down. There you have it. That is the big bug. Welcome to Artia. There's a lot of cool characters here to talk to. We just spoke with Violet's mom. Again, remember to continue slashing everything. But first things first is we are going to run into this multicolored house, and we're going to grab scroll number 18. Now, real quick before I move on, if we take a look here, when we open the gallery, it looks like we're missing 17, but 17 is a reward for one of the quests. You will get it no matter what. So the next couple are going to be in the wrong position, sort of, but don't worry, we will get 17 eventually. Okay, after that, you should have grabbed the pig hunting quest, and while we're doing that, we can talk to Martina and grab scroll number 19 here for 20. All right, we're in the 3D world now. We have to get the gauntlet to move the big pig. But I just wanted to take a moment. We're going to go grab a scroll here. So kind of come to the top right. Don't go this path as of yet. But I did just want to take a moment and discuss the light bulb situation that we're in right now. Right now, you can start seeing the different trees. You can see this tree up here is glowing. Which should allow you to whack it and get some light bulbs from it. Any object you see that is glowing like that is definitely worth whacking. Now, most of the trees are not glowing, so they're not going to give you anything. Though I have seen, and it could be a bug, or it could just be poor timing or something, I have gotten light bulbs from things that aren't glowing before. So it may be worth just trying to whack everything. However, if it is glowing, it should give you light bulbs. And it even makes a sound too when you hit it. I don't know if you've noticed that. See, that makes a sound, and if I were to hit this one, yeah, you can't hear anything. So, yeah, start hitting things to get the next scroll number 20. We're gonna go through this duct tape thing, down the ramp, and then right in here in this tube. And yeah, best of luck with this outside bit. We've got one more scroll to grab before we go back in the book. All right, here for the final scroll on the outside, scroll 21. We need to run up this ramp. This is the intended way to go. We'll head this way in a minute. We need to jump first, to jump onto the Rubik's Cube, then across. This bird really wants to follow us. So you can see it right there. We can't quite get to it from here, so we're going to drop down. And we've got a decent gaggle of enemies to fight. Once you take them out, you should be good to go. I don't think there's any hittable objects down here. Run up this booklet. And then over to the scroll. So there you have it. Scroll number 21. Okay, for completionist's sake, I just wanted to show us getting the 17th scroll, which is collecting all the pigs. As you can see, I've got 5 of the 6 little ones and the big one over in the mud puddle right now. We'll go ahead and put this one in, and that will give us the 17th scroll. Refilling out our book and making it not look terrible. There he is. Let's open up the pictures real quick. As you can see, there we go. We are back on track, and we are done with this this small little town. All right, the final scroll in chapter 5 comes right in the Queen's Court here. We're gonna head to the top right. Oh, Not this way. Gotta go around the rope. This way, cut behind, and right here, behind this weird looking, I don't know what that is, bowl looking thing, is our final scroll for this chapter. And finally, to wrap things up, we have that little Glitchbird there we need to grab. If we try to walk this way, the guard will stop us and say we can't go past that point. So what we'll do is we'll run around this rope, and we'll use this secret little entrance here to come down, snatch him up. That's Glitchbird number 5. And there's an interesting little, if you were to walk out, you'll actually get different dialogue from the guard here. I don't know, I thought that was interesting. Anyway, that is it for chapter 5. Alright, welcome to chapter 6. We are heading to the left side to get the key for the odd-shaped keyhole. And while we are doing that, we need to grab another scroll. So, of course, collecting as many of these light bulbs as possible as we go. Let's go ahead and launch over here. Take out these enemies and we'll get this scroll in just a moment. Alright, so the scroll is inside this tree. All you gotta do is give it a whack. And that is scroll number 23. Alright, the next scroll number 24, is at Martina here. Now, one thing to note, this is the first chapter that you can actually get every upgrade for Jot. So you can get the achievement in this chapter. It obviously requires a good number of light bulbs, and I'll show you a place where you can farm extra light bulbs, which we'll do a little bit. But yeah, go ahead and just keep buying your upgrades. And just remember that light bulbs are super important, just because with how the game is now, at the time of recording this video, you may not collect enough if you don't farm them, or you're not actively making sure that you're seeking them out every single time. Okay, so scroll 25 is in this dark little cave here. We'll go ahead and grab that real quick. Of course, there are a few enemies to take care of. And the scroll is down in this little crevice here, so grab that before you head down the stairs. Okay, so here is the screen where you can effectively farm a decent number of light bulbs pretty quickly. So there's a bunch of bushes. There's a ton over here. And, you know, if you're lucky, you can get about, I would say, 10 per run here, which isn't, it's not great, but it's, you know, at least it's something. So smash all the bushes, grab the trees, and then over here, this rat, as soon as you walk in front of this block, will kill you, like so. And then, obviously, when you reload, just like in Chapter 1, the bushes will be respawned, and you'll keep your total. Now, the number of light bulbs you should be farming throughout the game kind of varies. I've seen multiple people say different things. I think what I'm going to do, I farmed 200 in Chapter 1. I think I'm going to farm roughly that here. Although I have been pretty diligent of hitting every bush and everything through the game, so I'll likely end with too many. But I'd rather have too many and spend a little bit of time now. You know, if you can spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes doing this and, you know, farm 400 total light bulbs, you're better off doing that than spending 2.5, 3 hours running through the game to get back to Chapter 6 with enough light bulbs to upgrade everything, so... yeah, that is this method. It's not the fastest in the world, but it'll get you a decent amount. And remember, again, I can't remember if I mentioned it in the part with Martina. We will see her again in this chapter, but you can buy every upgrade in Chapter 6. So if you do, for whatever reason, have to come back here after your first playthrough, you don't need to go beyond Chapter 6 to buy every upgrade. All right, it's time to get another trophy real quick. We just made it through this door to grab cheese. And while we are on our way to go use it properly, we're going to drop this into the mushrooms and pick up cheese mushrooms. All right, here we are in the 3D space. We are collecting rocket ship parts. We've got this cool jetpack. And this is over on the left side to grab the first rocket ship part. We are also going to grab another scroll number 26. So you got to do a little bit of jumping around, flying around. And we'll go ahead and do that real quick, just so you get an idea of what we're looking at. And yeah, this area, obviously the 3D world, I would highly recommend that you spend a decent chunk of time exploring all of the little nooks and crannies, just because you're going to get a lot of light bulbs from that, and it'll definitely help you, especially if you were light on your farming in the first those couple of spots that we showed you. So we're going to head over to here. Now, before we go through into the 2D space, there is actually a little ledge right here you can get up to, and then up to here, and boom, there is your 26th scroll. All right, here we are at the mug for the second ship part, and before we go ahead and start lighting the candles, we can grab scroll number 27 by just jetpacking into the mug, and there you go. All right, we've got the first two parts. We made it up here for the third part. We'll enter this in just a moment. Oh, I got the cutscene. Oh, well. We're not going to go in it quite yet. We do need to kill two birds with one stone here and grab the scroll that's up there and get this achievement. There you go, Star Walker, and scroll number 28. All right, it's time for the Mega Eagle. This fight is pretty cool. It's just a rhythm-based sort of boss fight. If you're good at games like Guitar Hero, you'll definitely be good at this. Now, I guess really the only tip I have is that you don't have to hit these in a, like at a specific time. As long as that white circle is over them, as far as I can tell, anyway, you'll hit it. So it doesn't need to be like perfect, obviously. Now the Mega Eagle only has 2 phases, but they're the most difficult ones we've had so far when it comes to this. Shake off the snakes. Alright. Last bit. Alright, there you go. Metal Warrior is done. The Mega Eagle is defeated.
The Mega Eagles.
Okay, as you can see, we just got the Weed Killer Bombs from Moonbeard. And we're going to use this one, the first one we get, to get the 6th Glitchbird. So if you remember all the way back... Oh, and by the way, if you don't have one or you used one, you can get more by going through that portal and just going into the wizard's house. You can pick another one up off the ground. But assuming you have one. So if you remember, one of the first pages, or whatever you want to call them, in this world... There was more of that iron vine stuff. Keep going back there. You can see in that sort of upper left corner, We need to blow that up. Can't get on this page anywhere, so what we'll do is we'll open this, grab our bomb, run up along here, and then we go down one screen and we'll be right in front of where we need to be. Now we just turn, throw, and there is your 6th Glitchbird. Hey, real quick, while you're here, you might as well grab this cheese because we're going to need it for another trophy. Just to kind of save you some time so you're not flipping all the way back in the book. Grab the cheese. It is pretty dark in this room, so just set it somewhere you're not going to forget where you put it. And then continue on. All right, so here we are at the cave entrance, about to throw the bomb into that. But before we do that, let's go ahead and grab this trophy. Grab your cheese that we picked up earlier. If you didn't get this, you can flip all the way back to that last level and grab it from there. And then it's pretty simple. You just walk on in. Oh, I haven't got this yet. Walk on in, swap out cheese for noisy, and there you go. Cheese pillar is yours. All right, here we are in the cave. Just got Fractured to help us with the pillars outside. But before we go, let's go ahead and grab scroll 29, which is right around back through here. A little hidden. If you don't check that, I don't blame you, but that is scroll number 29. All right, to the end of chapter 6 for our final scroll. This is scroll number 30. We got to talk to Martina and grab it from here. And again, you can buy all of the upgrades if you have enough light bulbs. I will obviously not have enough light bulbs, but I can at least max out 2 of my abilities and have nearly enough for... Oh, I do have enough for the jump attack, so there you go. And, oh, I did have enough. All right, so that is it. I even have extra light bulbs. I've got 37, so there you go. In chapter 1, I grabbed, I think, 200 bulbs. Chapter 6, I grinded about 100, and I've been very diligent in getting and collecting as many as possible, and I'm already done. So just make sure that you're, paying attention, grind what you need to, so you're not missing this trophy. Okay, it's final boss time for chapter number 6. I know we don't get any trophy or anything for doing this, but might as well put it in the guide, because it is fun to watch the boss fights at the very least. So, first things first, you have to attack and kill all the guys that spawn to open this up. Now, we get the first lock for free, and then the saw blade will spawn. So from now on, we will need to use Thrash to help us out. And I think, actually, first and foremost, what's going to happen is it won't let us... We're going to have to tank some damage here. Yeah, we're going to have to tank some damage by trying, and then he's going to say, oh no, it's just not going to work. And fight some more guys. And now we should be able to launch ourselves out. So when doing this, we obviously need to stop the saw blade. Make sure you stand at the edge of one of them so the saw blade opens up to give him enough room to open up one of the locks, right? Seems pretty simple, but just a bit of a tip. Now these start spawning, and they are quite annoying. There's one on each side. You can only stop one thing at a time. So we're gonna pick one, and I mean it's optional. You don't have to necessarily, but it just makes things a little bit easier. Now we'll come over to the side where we stopped one. Wait for this. Now be careful because that will start launching bombs at you. We can come back over, stop it again, come down, and win this fight as well. A little bit of friendly fire there took that guy out. That's funny. And now all we got to do is stop this one. Oops, stop this one final time. Come back in here. And the biggest number of enemies yet. Take them out here. This will open. And now we can go ahead and smash this exposed button looking thing. And the machine is defeated. That's all of Chapter 6. It's quite a long one. But it is done now, and we will move on to Chapter 7. All right, welcome to Chapter 7. We are going to kick things off with buying another scroll from Martina. This one is scroll number 31. Real quick before we move on, I did just want to mention you can see Glitchbird number 7 right here, but you can't access it yet. We need something else we get a little bit later on, so we're not missing him. We're just coming back a little bit later. All right, we're a couple of screens forward from the Glitchbird now. We're gonna put this key in this lock, but before we move forward, let's go ahead and grab scroll number 32 by running over here and digging in this corner with Tumba, and there you have it. All right, here we are in the 3D world for the chapter. We went to the left side first to grab the amber that's in this mug. We're going to need it to unlock the pathway up. We just need to take out these few guys. And this should... Oh, right, we have to come down here real quick. Take out these guys as well. Little bit of combat. Once this guy is done, now we should be able to get into the mug. And we'll grab the amber and also the 33rd scroll. Just come back up here. Fuck this guy. I'm just gonna skip through it. And then head over here. On the right side of the mug is your 33rd scroll. All right, now for scroll number 34, this one is pretty obvious. I'm sure you saw it when you walked in, but we can get it by jumping into this dinosaur tail. You have a little bit of dialogue with the dinosaur, but after that, as you can see in the bottom of the back foot here, or the back leg, is scroll number 34. Grab that, and we will get 35 in a moment. All right, now that you've killed all the enemies on the dinosaur and you have entered back into the 3D world, we can follow the path for a little while, right underneath this big T-Rex and into the next area. Now, before you go in this portal, you'll want to just head all the way to the right. You kind of get a good look at what you're about to do next. But in the meantime, we can grab scroll number 35. Okay, now up to this point, you should have the bomb stamp. I've already taken out the 3 tanks that lay here, but we can also explode this block, which will reveal a scroll. That is scroll number 36. Let's just go ahead, jump in and grab that for completionist's sake here. For our friends. Everybody's got... they always seem to have something to say in this game. Do that, we'll grab this scroll, and then we will move on to the next one. Okay, so interestingly enough, when you jump back through that portal that we just went through to grab the scroll, the portal seems to close, so you can't jump back out. If you just go up to the next screen where we are here, you have this this page where you have to clear the leaves and things with the bombs. Before we do that, we are going to go back to that Glitchbird, if you remember. Mentioned it very briefly there, but it's back a little ways here. Oh, just passed it. There we go. So what we can do is we can drop another bomb. Now, this screen, if I remember correctly, yeah, this screen does not have a portal on it. Oh, it does have a portal. Portal down here. Just kidding. The screen definitely has a portal, and you should take it. And come up here and grab him. And then you can get back to adventuring. That is Glitchbird number 7. All right, before you exit the cave through this little puzzle section, there is actually a small little hidden room right up here to the left that contains scroll 37. Now, this is a pretty tricky little puzzle, the cave section is here. I considered adding a full walkthrough of this to the guide, but I kind of decided against it just for spoiler reasons, and you know, the guide's more meant for the trophies and achievements and stuff. But you know, if you want me to include things like this in future games, let me know in the comments, definitely, and I will do my best to add that. Okay, so the final scroll in this level, scroll number 38. We do have to dig this up with Tomba. Launch on over here, and Martina will sell us our final scroll for the level, or rather for the chapter. And there you have it, Violet. And there we go. That is Chapter 7 Collectibles done. Okay, welcome to Chapter 8. This is a pretty short chapter. Also, I don't know if this is a glitch just for me or if this is just in general. It always seems to happen every time I load into this chapter. But, yeah, first things first, we're going to grab this scroll 39, over to the left here. Alright, now we are into the town to do battle with the army here. It is a little bit of a long battle. There are a good number of enemies. Be careful of the tanks. They can and will shoot you, and they do a significant amount of damage if they do hit you, so try to avoid that. But we are going to run over to the Salvador Dali house, the one that has this kind of like melting clock. And inside of it is scroll number 40. All right, with the enemies defeated, now we can come into this 3D space and start destroying the tanks. But before we do that, we want to make sure we run over to the right here, beyond these books, and you will find the 41st scroll, and the only one in the 3D space in this chapter. And here we are with the mage encounter. It's pretty straightforward. It's just your typical match 3. You do wanna go with decent speed. It can get a little overwhelming if you're not too terribly fast. Make sure you dodge the bombs like so. But yeah, I mean, if you've played any match 3 games, anything in this sort of similar vein, which I'm sure you most likely have, the fundamental rules of this boss fight are pretty simple. But yeah, you do want to be relatively quick, and obviously be careful of the bombs. Now, when he does this, they're all going to drop, so you want to turn your attention to dodging those, at least for a moment. Now let's go ahead and break this. Alright, not the greatest lineup here, but do that, that'll help. Okay, unfortunately my commentary is not great for this. I don't really have any kind of strategy. I've never really thought too much about strategy for these kinds of games. Other than for this part, just make sure you dodge the bombs. That's all. They do a decent amount of damage when you get hit by them. It's not the end of the world, but you know, you do want to save. Alright, let's see. This is not going to be great. Okay. that in there, perfect. All right, now we can get rid of those. All right, he's getting pretty weak. This is actually a pretty long boss fight, all things considered. I don't know if this is longer than the Mega Eagle, but it definitely feels like it. Maybe it's just because I'm not great at these sorts of match 3 games, so this is probably the hardest boss fight for me. Okay. Pop that. Perfect. And oop. Yeah, so you can sort of block bombs too if you didn't realize that. This is bad. Fire. Water. Ooh, we actually beat him before we even took damage. That's funny. But yeah, so I mean, it's a relatively easy fight, and you know, once you get to the end, you get the Mighty Witch trophy.
Victorious. And her former schoolmates quite flabbergasted.
All right, now that we've beaten the mage, it is very important before you move forward to run over here to the left and grab this Glitchbird. This is the 8th Glitchbird and the final part of Chapter 8. We will move on to Chapter 9, but yeah, make sure you grab this one before you move to the next area, as you know, obviously won't be able to return here. So, okay, welcome to Chapter 9, the last real chapter in this game. First things first, we are going to grab Glitchbird number 9. So Pip just saved us from the laser beam. We're actually going to enter the room that he just came out of, run all the way to the left, and there he is, easy enough. All right, just after the first sneaking section with Pip, we come up to this dead end. You're going to turn right here. There's this little table, and obviously the 40-second scroll. All right, after quite a bit of exploring and things like that, we just grabbed the tilt gauntlets here in the 3D world. Now, before you continue on, make sure you head over to the right and grab this scroll. This is scroll number 43. All right, well, we've got all of our items now. Now it is time to just make our way through. And I'm sure you saw it in the introduction to this section, but there is another scroll at the end. Honestly, the fight between you and these two beetles right here is actually rather difficult. It's probably one of the more difficult 3D fights in the game. So you just need to keep moving. Use your sword throwing ability to good effect. And as long as you don't take too many hits, you should be able to live through that. Now, obviously, before you head to the left, where the sign wants you to go, just continue on straight, and we can grab the 44th scroll. Yeah. All right, now once you've made it down onto the table, and before you head back using this portal, make sure that you come down back, kind of go back to where you started, go over your 10-year-old birthday card, and there should be a little corner in here where there's these two trees. You want to, now that you have your sword, you can cut these trees down, and you can run along back here and grab the 45th scroll. All right, back in the 2D world we go now. Now here is a bust of the main big bad. We need to come over here. This is actually going to pop a trophy and give us a scroll at the same time. So what we need to do is we need to grab this broken from down here. So what we're gonna do is we are going to come over to this. Now you have your stop, and obviously you can manipulate the book. So we need these two platforms to line up essentially, but we also need to keep this one here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna stamp this with the stop. We're We're gonna manipulate this now. We do have to, whoops. We do have to tilt the book this way first to bring the blocks over here for us to now tilt it this way. And they'll line up nice and even for us. And jump back in. And there you go. So now we can grab this broken word and run it back over towards the bust. We'll drop this. Oops. We'll drop this here. And now all we have to do, come back to this world, swap to the bomb, drop a bomb right on it, and there you go. You'll get the Buster trophy, and you'll also pick up your 46th scroll. All right, we've got the band back together now, and we come across Martina, who we can now buy the 47th scroll from. Okay, we're here in the pipe room now. Now, we haven't solved the puzzle in this room yet, but we can get out of the book. And I'm going to just highly recommend that you get this scroll first. So use the bomb here on this. Grab that scroll first. Just because if you don't and you solve the puzzle first, as you can see, eventually there will be a pipe that connects these two pipes. And you can't freely walk between here. So it's just a real pain. You have to go back further and run back to the room, and then, yeah. Just grab the scroll here first, then do the puzzle, and you'll be much happier for it. Alright, we're at the end of the final sneak section here. I just wanted to show this just for the trophy's sake. I mean, I didn't show the whole sneak sections just because, again, they are part of the game, and you're not going to miss anything. But you do get a nice gold trophy for your trouble.
What a great load of good all the guards' training had done.
Okay, time for scroll 49. Again, we have Martina here to buy one from. This is the last scroll you'll buy. And additionally, this is the final time you will come across Martina in this game. So make sure that if you haven't yet, you get every upgrade for Jot to get that trophy from earlier. So here we are, just a few rooms outside of the final boss. And it is time to get the final scroll of the game. Scroll number 50. It's pretty simple. Just over to this right side, smack the tree, and grab your final scroll. Enjoy the trophy. Now, as well, we have one other collectible to grab. It's the 10th and final Glitchbird here in this very next room. You will just want to make your way over to the right side of the room. There's really nothing to do in this room other than just run through it, so don't forget to come back this way. You can actually even see the little sparkles. I don't know if that's meant to be that way, but as long as you walk down and in, you can grab them, and that is all 10 Glitchbirds. All right, here we are. Final boss time. It's Humgrump himself. And I didn't include the initial phases of him just because they're pretty much, I mean, it's the exact same fights as the earlier bosses in the game, except just slightly more difficult. But I did want to include this because this is a unique fight, and yeah, so you just got to get used to using the jetpack. You can shoot him in either eye or his tongue, and you'll do just as much damage either way. Make sure you use circle every time you want to dodge something. Makes it considerably easier to do so. And yeah, just keep trying to stay on target with your shots. Eventually, they'll start using some more varied attacks like this. Now he has 3 different phases. The first one's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But each of these phases now, so you're going to see that you can't really shoot him when he has this shield up. So what you're going to do is wait, and in a moment here, he will send out some rocks. Eventually, he's got to get through all the other attacks first, I guess. Alright, now these rocks are your best way to heal, really the only way to heal in this fight, so make sure you use that. But there was, I don't know if you saw it, but there's a little yellow, almost asteroid-looking thing that spawns that tennis ball. You just want to shoot that as much as possible as soon as you can, as that breaks his shield, and now you can get back to attacking him. Again, be liberal with your use of circle to dash away from things. And whenever you see him use a rock attack, make sure you shoot as many rocks as you can to get health back. Like here, just gonna shoot a bunch of rocks. There you go, we're back up to full health pretty quick. Now, eventually, as we get closer to finishing this phase of him, I think he spawns a second shield. Maybe it's time-based. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Now we have the second shield. Again, can't really do much. Just gotta wait for him to run through his attack patterns. And there you go. That's a better look at what you're supposed to be shooting at. Now, the nice thing about this tennis ball is it actually will block his attacks as well, so you can kind of hide behind it while you're shooting it. Alright, here we go, final phase. He's in the red now. Again, nothing really changes, just the attacks become more frequent and more difficult to dodge. This one's hard to sort of shoot and dodge everything, but you can get a couple of shots off. These are a little tricky to time because they accelerate super fast. You just kind of have to be patient. You don't want to dodge those too early because you're gonna get hit by them eventually. All right, here's his first shield, and it may be time-based rather than health-based. Go. All right, then we're gonna keep blasting away. See, like that time I dodged just a little bit too early. If we're fast enough, there you go. We didn't even need to break two of his shields. And that's it. That's the final boss. That will get you a trophy, and then a little bit of some ending dialogue, cutscenes, things like that. And I'll skip all that, but I will show grabbing the platinum. So yeah, enjoy your platinum, guys.
Yeah! The end.
And that'll do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this game as much as I did, and this guide helped you on your journey to another Platinum Trophy. If you like this sort of content or it assists you in any way, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with your friends. I've been Hunted with Plat Pursuit. Thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on our next adventure. Happy platting!